Hunter,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you choose first topic. So I gave these guys some notes, but I'll let you choose where we start first because I didn't send you the notes. So we can preview you some UNC Duke. We can talk Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. We can talk how bad the Hornets suck. We're gonna let you do an XFL preview at the end of the show. We can talk Trout was overrated and it's not a stat. And then we're going to talk NBA Park all-time lineups and the NBA Mount Rushmore by position.
Well, since a lot of our viewers, as of right now, are local, we will go ahead and preview the Duke, North Carolina Part 2 basketball game. That will be happening tomorrow.
All right. From my point of view, last time they played, we were both at a Charlotte Hornets game.
Yeah.
And during the game, there were more people in the area watching the Carolina Duke into the ending that had their backs turned to the stadium. It was the game that Luka Doncic and Porzingis didn't play against the Hornets, and their backup still won by 39. So we were kind of seeing the end of it, didn't see the whole game of it. Joe, you guys catch the whole games and everything?
I watched most of it.
I watched from like the start of the second half and through the overtime. I didn't catch the first half.
So were you expecting a Duke rout? What were you thinking about the game?
Well,
real quick, I got two questions.
All right.
Before we start. No, go ahead. I'll get you two.
Well, first of all,
go ahead.
Carolina outplayed Duke for, I would say, 38 of the 40 minutes of regulation. I was quite surprised that Duke rallied to put it into overtime because this year's Duke team, they're all right, but they ain't great. I mean, look, I'm a Duke fan. They ain't great. Heck, Vernon Carey, I think, had fouled out of that game. Of course, now, Carolina helped them by missing free throws down the stretch. And I've heard y'all talk about that. You can't be bricking a bunch of free throws coming down the stretch. And Duke ended up making some... They made some shots that I would say are not super high percentage. But they did.
So they're going to dominate tomorrow? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think Duke's going to win, but
Yeah?
I think it'll be a close game.
Andy,
Look,
how many points does Cole Anthony need for Carolina to win?
All of them.
All of them.
I was not surprised that they lost. I've been on plenty of teams that was able to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. You could just see it coming, and just knew it was going to happen. Especially after losing, they've already lost probably 5 or 6 games the same way.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit free throws down the stretch. You just could see it coming.
They lost 5 games this year by 2 points or less.
the thing is,
Is that coaching?
And how many have they lost in the last 90 seconds, or just been ahead with a minute and a half to go and then turned around and lost?
All right,
Andy. It just starts snowballing and it's hard to get out of.
All right, Andy, let's just close your eyes for a minute, you and Chris, okay? If your coach said, my players aren't that talented, they're not that good, your coach has fainted more than he's called timeouts over the last 10 years, and your coach runs his previous coach's offense, and his team never makes free throws, and he's 70-something years old, and he comes in last place in the ACC, should that coach be fired?
all right. Now, Andy and I and some of our friends have had discussions because I'm kind of the anomaly in our group. I'm the Duke fan. Most of them are Carolina fans.
Right.
I'm a Roy Williams defender, and I'm going to tell you why. He's won y'all 3 titles. He's won y'all 3 titles. Now look.
3 rings gets you 3 passes. You get 3 bad seasons.
3 bad seasons.
For 3 rings.
Till what age?
I'll make that trade. Till he runs out of passes.
Till what?
He's using up one of his passes this year.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Now, whose fault is it they don't have good players?
They have missed on some recruits. Missed.
What coach has ever come out and said, man, I couldn't recruit nobody this year?
All right,
whoops.
Poor word choice.
that wasn't the best word choice. But, I mean, the thing is, like, when Cole Anthony's on Carolina's team this year, they're not bad. They are better than their record says they are if Cole Anthony is playing.
Yeah, if they're healthy, they're still a top
they're
15
okay.
or 20
they're
team.
okay.
They're not world beaters, but
nobody
is in college basketball this year.
Nobody this year is a world beater.
They could roll out and beat Kansas or Baylor or Gonzaga tomorrow with everybody healthy. They might lose by 25, but they could beat them by 2.
They lost in the early tournament to Michigan, and then turn by a lot, but then turn around and beat ranked Oregon. I mean,
it can happen.
They played decent at the beginning of the year. Just to me, I think Roy Williams has done this team a disservice by not putting Cole Anthony on a minutes restriction, and it's not because of his injury. It's because it's going to be forcing everybody else on the floor to not use. I've said this all year. They use him as a crutch. If they need a basket, they just give it to Cole Anthony and let him play really street one-on-one ball. I think that's really just hurt the team as a whole. And these past 2 games that they've won, I've noticed more team ball than just one-on-one. Cole Anthony needs to go out here, and if he can't get you 25, you're not going to win. I just think that's something that, and like I said, I'll defend Roy. I like Roy. I've called for his job before, though, way before this. But he has brought us 3 championships. But at the same time, I think you should have, for you to come out and say that the team is not talented enough, yes, that can go towards, well, this was the talent that you scouted. Okay. Then if they're not that talented, then create a system that will, bring out the best of the abilities that they can do, and not just lean on Cole Anthony, because that's just what it is, what it was for a extended period of time with, like, earlier in the season before Cole Anthony went down and the team had to play without him. I thought at times they looked even better without him on the court. I know they're better as a whole with him on the court, but he lost that game against it was either Boston College or Syracuse. He lost them that game because he took the final 3-4 possession shots that they had, and it was just pull-up threes. Pull-up threes. Not the second time they played Syracuse, but the first time. He just dribble it down, had 2 guys on him, didn't even look for somebody. He's double-teamed, somebody's open, and just tried to play hero ball. To me, it's like, look, your game's going to translate great to the NBA. You're going to have guys around you that are all talented. Okay, and the floor is going to be a whole lot more spread out for you at the NBA as well. But right now, I need you to be more of the facilitator than just the spot up. If I don't score 25, we're not going to win.
It took a long time for I thought the rest of the team to get a little offensive confidence.
I think it took a lot of time too.
Keeling's just now starting to hit some jumpers.
And then Leaky Black.
Brooks, Leaky Black when he's
hurting. What's
How
hurt?
recruit somebody named Leaky Black?
Well, he's an
in-state guy.
Yeah, he's from Charlotte area. What, Cox Mills? Where he went?
I like Baycott. I think Baycott.
Look, I give Garrison Brooks so much flack, and he's just now, it took him to about midpoint of Cole Anthony not playing for him to start stepping up and playing. Because I thought he always played soft. I thought he was kind of timid down in the paint, and now I don't know what has gotten into him, but he's been playing very well. And I'll eat those words for now until he just has another bad game, and then I'll be like, nope, he's back to his old ways.
All right, new question: if you've lost to the 13th best team in the ACC with a losing record, if you were taken to overtime with the 14th best team in the ACC, if you had 3 top 10 picks in the draft and couldn't make it to the Final Four, should you be fired?
No, 3 rings. 3.
That's all that matters.
I
wasn't talking about Roy. I was talking about Coach K.
All right.
Didn't he just have 3 top 10 picks?
5 rings. He gets 5.
Didn't he just have 3 top 10 picks?
All right. I thought you were talking about North Carolina.
Okay.
Now, at what point are these 70-year-old coaches? It's time to go.
Well, here's the thing.
Fire them all.
We're not there
All
yet.
right,
Fire them all.
As Andy said,
Be careful what you wish for.
Krzyzewski's got 5 rings. Before Krzyzewski got to Duke, they'd never won a national championship. Now, they had made a few Final Fours. Mm-hmm. But Mike Krzyzewski has more Final Fours for Duke than all the other Duke coaches combined. As Andy said, you win some national championships, you get a...
He's had the best payroll than all the other coaches combined, too, as well.
Well, not
Zion didn't come
not
cheap.
Not
Zion didn't come cheap, Nelson. Clemson said they were trying to pay him and didn't have enough. That's what the guy in the NCAA investigation said.
When you have one and dones, of which Mike Krzyzewski for a while kind of resisted the one and done. The first player who left early was Elton Brand. Before that, basically everybody stayed there 4 years. So we has transitioned from 4-year guys to a lot of one and done guys. When you recruit one and done guys, you may have a draft class when you have Zion and R.J. Barrett, number
Cam
one
Reddish.
pick, and Cam Reddish. Like, we got
Hey.
3 lottery. But look, this year, now Vernon Carey probably will be a lottery pick, but there's nobody else on that team I think is going to get drafted in the first round. You're not going to hit a home run every single year. Sometimes you're going to get Zion and Barrett, and sometimes you're going to get role players.
Shoot, I feel like Coach Calipari does that every year, but we won't look into that either.
And he's only won one title with all
Hey,
that.
At
Okay.
Kentucky, yeah.
With all that
was
talent?
Anthony Davis's team.
That was
all
Anthony
that
Davis
talent.
and Michael Kidd Gilchrist and that crew. All right, Calipari has made 3 Final Fours, 2 of which got quote unquote taken away from him. When he was at UMass and he had Marcus Camby, they went to the Final Four. That one got taken away.
Derrick Rose in Memphis.
Derrick Rose in Memphis, that one got taken away. So he's won 1 title. That's correct.
Let's see. Trying to figure out how old Dean Smith was when he retired. But my point on Dean is that they didn't win it in 94, 95 with Rashid and Stackhouse. They didn't win it with Jameson and Carter, and then he has to retire. I'm just saying,
Well-
those things, you can't start winning with 3 top 10 draft
I think he
picks.
could have stayed as long as he wanted
It's
to.
time to. Well, they could have. He could have. And like what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, Coach K, is it too long when you can't win with 3 top 10 draft picks?
Well,
You're getting beat by teams that ain't even got any draft picks.
Stuff happens. You run into a team with 5 fifth-year seniors, they're going to be a good basketball team.
Michigan State. That's what they ran into.
Yeah.
They ran into a what is it? He was like a junior then. Cat Junior led Cassius Winston Michigan State team, and Cassius Winston put that team on his back.
Yeah. You just run into older guys sometimes that are
it's funny you
A little further
mentioned
along.
like 94
He was
and 95.
66 when he retired.
It's funny you mentioned 94 and 95 because Andy and I just the other day were having a conversation about Dean Smith, and I said, in my opinion, in back-to-back years, he had his best coaching job and his worst coaching job back-to-back. 93, they win the title, and their best player was George Lynch. George Lynch never made an NBA All-Star team. Now, he played in the NBA a long time, but that wasn't some superstar. Then the next year, they have basically everybody back except for George Lynch, and they add.
George Lynch carried the Sixers to the finals.
No, he didn't. Okay. So the next year
You're not
after...
trying to say Iverson carried him, dude. You
yes,
said George
I am.
Lynch. Come on.
The league MVP. He led the league that year in minutes, points, and steals.
That's Andre's
that
favorite
year.
player.
Talking about 2001, where they ran into a great Lakers team who only lost 1 game in the playoffs that year, 2001. But anyway, so in 94, Dean Smith, all right, so George Lynch goes to the NBA. They bring in Jeff McGinnis and Rasheed Wallace and Jerry Stackhouse. They get beat in the second round of the tournament by Boston College.
Bill Curley.
I don't think that was a good coaching job, but the 93 team, I think that was his best coaching job.
Well, it's the same. We talk about baseball. I talk about the Cardinals. Their championship team in the early 2000s, I think it was 6.
Talking about the 183 games.
Yes, that was by far not the best team they had in that 10-year. It was probably the worst team they had in that 10-year stretch, other than the team that won 79 games that didn't make the playoffs. Like, and then Dean Smith wins with a 93 team and not the 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 teams that Carolina did with all those stars. And then think about all the players. See, Jordan won his freshman year. They still had good teams after that, like 83 and 84.
But now look, that 82 team with Jordan, you got James Worthy on that team. You got Sam Perkins on that team. So I mean, you got some dudes on that team.
Oh yeah. So I would fire Roy and Kay right now. They're both 70 years old. They're 5 years older than Dean Smith was when he retired, and they're losing it. I just gave you why they're losing it. All right, so who y'all got Saturday? Carolina by 10. What's the spread? Anybody know?
It was 10 at 9 at Carolina when they were at Carolina. Duke by 9.
I don't know what
don't know
the
what it is.
spread is, but
I'm not a gambler, Kevin.
well, I am.
Somebody has to be.
Yeah, I am. But no, I
Hunter
think,
watches the spreads but won't put the money down.
I think Duke will win, but it'll be single digits. I think Duke will win a close game.
It's at Duke, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I think Duke will win maybe 6, 7, 8 points, something
Does
like that.
Coach K yell at his fans, or does he let them go buck wild this
Well,
time?
I'm pretty sure they're allowed to say whatever they want to.
Against Carolina.
Yeah. He can't say nothing to his friends and his buddies. But yeah, whatever he wants to against the Tar Heels.
I don't have a good answer for that.
Don't have a good answer.
I don't have a good
You
answer.
know
for
the
that.
answer to that. Don't say you don't have a good answer.
I don't have a good answer.
They can say whatever the hell they want to, Nelson. You know it just as well as I do. All right, let's go on. Let's move on. All right, let's do